And we should be live. I don't really know how to start this off. Well, what I'm trying to do is I've been getting back into Minecraft because the world is stressful and Minecraft is like a very peaceful game. Well, not a very peaceful game, but it's kind of getting back into some nostalgia and stuff. And I wanted to make a world and work on that world, but I have commitment issues. And so I wanted to try doing something of a hardcore world. Usually what I do is I either die really quick because I'm doing some bullshit or something like that. But I wanted to try putting off getting burnt off on the game or just in general things by doing this idea of doing at least 1 hour of Minecraft a week. Now I can do more, that's why it's at least, but I won't post a video past that. I can only do one a day at least, I came up with this idea when I was in a worse place about a day or two ago, but now I'm in a much better place. Spawning in a fairly regular base, or a regular place. I think I heard a dog or something. I think it was bees. Yeah. Honestly, I'm tired of living in plains in every single place that I start. The one problem always is, if you're not living in a plains, then you're living in a village, It's because it's all about resources at a certain point. Oh, and this is both of my big crutches. And is that a cave system? Possible cave system? No, just... Yeah, those are 3 of my big and cows nearby. I have a bunch of crutches when it comes to how I set up my bases and the factor of them not looking too good. And this has every single thing that I would standardly go for and set up in. If I was running a standard playthrough, especially one with friends, this would be the place I set up. Undoubtedly so. But, I didn't start the timer. But I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm going to find a different place to set up. I want to make something different. I say it's more worth it to go out and discover what's in each of the areas rather than, just do the same thing over and over and over. Actually, some yellow dye might be nice. Those are pumpkins. Let's try getting set up. Okay. Yeah. So, the reason... Oh shoot, I forgot one. The reason why I set up around villages so commonly is actually a perfect reason to, then show what I'm going to be taking from all these villages. Or from these villages. First most obvious one, beds, wool, things like that are decorative, but also tools in their own right. It can often be really annoying to try working around like animals that spawn in and stuff. I remember I was playing one of the older versions, revisiting like a dragon mod from my like childhood, and I dragged cows into a cow pit for. Oh, this is gonna be showing some things. Basically, I'm gonna be killing every single animal here. Ooh, that's embarrassing. I've been playing on Skyblock, revisiting back that old thing, trying to do stuff. But I was actually really wanted to start doing this. I was thinking of starting up another world that wasn't on hardcore, just so that I wouldn't be contained to this, you know? But ultimately, I came to the conclusion that run two worlds at the same time, that's just ultimate burnout and stuff. The whole point of this is some self-restraint from the times where I feel so much energy to do something that I overindulge myself and burn myself out, but also stopping myself from never committing to anything. In general, in this, I'm not gonna try and like, I don't know, it's just like a mood thing. I'm gonna try and still make some commentary, maybe make some jokes or something, but it's gonna be generally chill. And in comparison to like my other content that I usually make, it's not gonna be like as crude, yeah, or crude at all. It's a trip down like memory lane. And in general, Minecraft creators, at least from my childhood, were, you know, actually not really, no, not at all. They're actually pretty crude. But I'm not gonna be too crude. Why you gotta be so crude? I heard that song so many fucking shoot. Already feeling at it. But I heard that song so many times that it made me absolutely depraved of it. Or depraved? No, sickened? I don't know, I'll think of the word. But ultimately, I came to the conclusion I'm actually so glad that I'm not doing a village. If I have to do another, oh my gosh, if I had to do another Fletcher grind up to like, up to diamond levels for the blacksmith, or diamond tools for everything, so that I never have to, so I'd have an overabundant resource of diamonds. I know that sounds like, oh wow, that's amazing. Let me tell you, it's maybe like farming skeletons and then just chopping down your tree, your like local forest, and then regrowing it. I have like an old stream where that's literally the entire thing that I'm doing, because I'm trying to get like an overabundance of tools so I never have to worry about them breaking. You might be saying something like, well, why not just try and go after like enchantments and mending? And you know what that requires? It requires you to do even more annoying shit. Who says? Gosh, this is gonna be hard. Forget how much I rely on cursing to like keep my mood down, and so getting angry is making me wanting. This is actually a good thing for me. Putting some restrictions on myself. I found that recently I was talking to some people, and I used bad language, to put it that way. And you know, it's actually so funny. They were we were talking so much about how bundles are bad. Why? What would you ever use a bundle for? So dumb. Well, that was actually a bad use, but whatever. And then it's just, why use bundles when shulker? Or actually, that wasn't recently. That's quite a while ago. Anyways, there's your use case scenario. Exactly right here. They're so far apart too, you know? Like, one is a weaker version for the early game, and then the other one is like a super strong mobile, like a mobile chess basically, for the late game. I don't know. It's really not that deep, like Minecraft and everything, other than just being the amount of deepness that you get from it being like the biggest game ever, you know? But still, it's. The phrase "is just a game" is such a weak mindset. Hmm. Just to be safe. Come on, get over here. Why are you in that corner? Whatever. I don't even worry about it. Dang. He's not even aggroed. Just gotta mine some iron real quick. Okay. Oh. Oh, I also gotta avoid setting up near lava pools too. That's another trope I commonly fall into. Well, I guess that just really shows what I'm trying to avoid in this playthrough or whatever I'm doing. Is I don't want to fall into my common. Let me go to sleep. You guys get out of here. I don't want to fall into my common tropes of just setting up around resources. I want to set up around something that I like. I want to set up around something that I like would want to build, and not something or build onto, but not something that is like, oh, I need to set up around this village so that I can get my Fletcher, so I can do emerald trading and want to shoot. Mm. Wow. It's like in my vocabulary. Can I go like teenager with it maybe? Like tween with it maybe? Like not necessarily curse, but talk about no, that topic's heavy. Hmm. This, this tree's like the centerpiece of the village. I like to think of it as like some memorial tree. Yeah, that's enough. Ooh, crops would be good too. You know, I was thinking of reading Conan the Barbarian. Though I swear, that book and other books like it attract the worst people, man. Which I guess makes a little bit of sense. As much as the books are about human and the even like human, even in like the idea of being uncivilized, being able to like do incredible things past themselves, you know? It was like an antithesis to Howard Phillip, I believe. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot his name. But it was like against the main idea. No. That was Howard Philip Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. That was his name. Ah man, I can't believe I can't remember the guy who made. Ah, another Village. Stop taunting me. Who made Conan the Barbarian? But they were friends, and one expressed the idea of the hopeless. Oh, did I forget the? I forgot the bell stacks. Well, the idea of hopelessness through through like gods and the smallness of people. Whereas the other one, oh man, I can't believe I forget his name. I feel so embarrassed now because I'm talking about this like I know what I'm talking about when I don't even know names. So now I look like a fool. But it's whatever. The first thing about life, or the first thing about knowledge, is accepting that you look like a fool. You know? That's like one of the most reoccurring elements in everything. They say you see it in religious spiritualism, the idea of knowing nothing. They say that Buddha achieved enlightenment after he stopped wanting to achieve enlightenment and sat underneath a tree. Because it was only in giving up that final want of the whole reason why he gave up everything that he was able to achieve it. There's a lot of symbolism, and it holds true to the idea of intelligence, you know? The idea that as a person, you can only achieve more intelligence by wanting to become more intelligent. You can only become more intelligent knowing how uninformed you are or how little you don't know. The same thing reigns true for spiritual / religious knowledge, you know? The knowledge comes from constantly exploring the parts of your religion and your connection to God. Though I guess I don't really have the right ground to speak on with that. I'm not religious myself. I merely find religion and its contribution to human art and intellect really interesting. I don't know why I started speaking so formally and everything. This is what happens whenever I have to like chain down my lip. Which you might be like, so what, you stop acting like an hooligan? But the thing about it is, in all truth, the ability to like be one way, but the want to act one way is kind of how I am. Like, I can be all. Oh shoot, that's an donkey. I can be one way, or I can act one way, but I want to be the other. That just simply happens to be the fact that I want to be a jerk most of the time, or rude, or mean. You know, that's just how it be. The intellectual side is just what is there to help survive. You have it, and also to be able to like look deeper into the world. You have it, but that doesn't mean that you should always want to be it. Though I don't consider myself intellectual. I'm pretty stupid. I've made nothing but bad decisions in my life. Segway. Ooh, actually, talking about Segway. Um, I wonder. I never got TikTok. I genuinely. It was like when it came out. I had that. I was in that stage. You know, it's your teenagers where you're like, oh, I can't associate with this. You think you like being at least a little bit countercultural because you have nothing else to really do to show any amount of rebellion because you're a stupid teen, you know? So that's when that TikTok came out. But yeah, I don't have it. I just never got it past that. I just never had a reason to get it once that passed, you know, the craze happened, and then people just talk like TikTok is just, you know, hate died down, and then the people, you know, constantly on it, died down and stuff. And now it's just another social media. I wonder if people still make videos. I remember back in when it first, well, not when it first came out, but when that A train, would that be the right word for it? Yeah, I might as well get some acacia. Acacia's pretty good. It's a bit red, but ooh, I like these banners. Ooh, maybe. Running out of space. Let's see what I'm working with here. Don't need this one color black wool. Let me see what I'm working with in the pouch. This can go here. Yellow. This can go part of this pile. Be all there. All these meats. Flour can go here. Let me try, you know, more meats. Oh, you do not need an oak sapling. Oak saplings out the wazoo. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's everything. Fit in there. Maybe I could space it out better with like, try not to work on stacks though. Let's try this, and then take it out. Okay. Well, that one egg. You know, I really should not have been looking at like recent events, because now that's all the things that are going through my mind right now. And let me tell you, recent events, they're so stupid. Like, there's a bunch of dumb stuff happening. And a little bit of nerve-wracking stuff. I don't usually worry too much about the news, but yeah. Okay, so it does stack. That's good. I wonder if I want to take this concrete. I don't think I'll actually use it in my base. Plus, get out my way. Get out my... Bro, I'm gonna kick your... Booty. Let me go to sleep. Stop. Stop. At me. They're doing it to make me angry. And I picked up everything. Beetroot seeds. Nah, beetroots are pretty worthless. I think vegetable. I'm saying that just because you never know. There's like a million features, you know, and like no one ever, and then you'll find like one niche use of one of them. I don't even remember when beetroots were added. Not that that matters. I'm personally of the favor that the appeal of Minecraft has always been like what you can do in it. And back in the old days, whenever the old days of Minecraft got boring, I would turn looking at mods to revitalize it. So the continual add of like stuff into it really doesn't grind my gears or anything like that. It's just simply the only thing that ever grinds my gears about updates is just simply the fact that they never do anything. Like, of course, you know, everyone's gonna be like, that's why everyone likes the Nether update, or not everyone. There's people, but it's like more on the fringes. People who don't like the Nether update or whatever, or didn't like Nether. Well, I guess they still wouldn't, you know. Okay, gonna need that for later. Let's see what we're working with here. Gonna have to make a new one. Those. Get that dirt out of my system. Man, get that pepper out of it. Okay. Why is my bundle empty? What'd I do? Not that that matters. Eggs. Small stack of that. We're trying to go with like small stacks, things that like actually I need that. This is my first time using a bundle, by the way. I don't even remember when they were. I'm gonna see. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. Thank you, me. No problem, you. I actually kind of wonder if people are gonna see how, since this is just me speaking to myself, and I do that regularly, but it's gonna be like less from the entertainment perspective. I do wonder if people are gonna see how insane I am, or apparently not insane. I tell people I'm going insane, and they're like, "Nah, you're a normal person." I'm like, "Well, thank you." It's one of the funniest things. Ah! Okay. Yeah, this one's gonna work. Because you see the difference is that's too close to other villages. And I was thinking of resetting the world anyway. But this one, let's check this let's check this out. This world's already looking way, way, way better than the other one. It's so interesting. It's like a little bowl. Let's look at this. Sheer cliff sides. A very common staple thing that I do is build inside the side. So there's already an automatically set rule that I can't build a relatively good cave system. But I guarantee you there's like way more down there. There always is. Caves and cliffs update and all that. Hey, I know that one's from a newer update because someone was complaining about how long it took them to flip logs or something like that. That's the thing about the world. There's always someone with a complaint. Big, small, real, fake. Trust me, I'm a person whose literal hobby is doing this, listening to my own voice. And it's everyone. Everyone does it. If you don't like listening to your voice, then, that's heavy. But yeah, everyone likes listening to voice. And it's not a bad thing. I'd say that it's much better to want to hear your voice than to not, you know? I often wonder where the lines between being ugly is just how you are and it being a choice. Now, keep in complete mind that when I say being ugly, I think that every person, there is like objective beauty to a certain extent, but also subjective attractiveness. You know? That's the best way I could describe it. Because beauty is a measurement or a standard. Attractiveness is a subjective attraction you garner from people, you know? That's how I think about it, at least. Gosh. Though I guess that wouldn't work because that whole thing wouldn't work. Because then, wait, can I bring that up? Yeah, whatever. Because then it would make no sense to call, attractive, uh, on the bigger side, ladies, uh, big, beautiful ladies, you know? And trust me when I say this, that the worst thing when it comes to attractiveness, there's two things to it. There's, or three, I'd say three actually, but there's two things about it. There's the attractiveness of one's own. Wasn't I just talking about Conan the Barbarian? Yeah, I think I was just talking about Conan the Barbarian. Well, I'll get back to that later. There's the attractiveness of one's own looks, the attractiveness of one's own confidence, and the attractiveness of one's own soul. And these all hold like different things to them. If you don't have any attractiveness in your soul, then you can get people all around you. But anyone who gets close enough to see that your soul is ugly, you'll end up only attracting people who share that same ugly soul as you. Then there's the attractiveness of one's own confidence. That can be multiple things. It's not just necessarily someone who's able to speak well or talk well, you know. It could be accomplishments, things like that. A nervous person who has wants so many stuff that those accomplishments speak of a certain amount of confidence. Like they speak like a loud, booming voice to other people. But also, yes, the ability to be a suave talker also phases into that attractiveness of confidence. But confidence isn't just. I'd say that confidence is more about being able to accept your L's than about being able to hit W's when it comes to talking to people. You accept your L's at least in front of other people, and they'll say you have confidence out the wazoo, even when you're crumbling, falling apart, shipping. I'm not shipping. I'm a little tired. Sinking with the ship. But you don't ever let that show. Well, I guess that goes from confidence to pride. I'll probably do a little bit of ramble rant on Seven Deadly Sins. I feel like I'm pretty apt to talk about it since I suffer from basically all of them. Let's save that topic for another day. Let me get on to like Conan Barbarian. Because I didn't even get to the main point that I was making, bringing up the author and his ideology when in comparison to his friend and familial in in the same writing circle, and they make references to each other's writings. But the difference between their ideologies and the differences honestly speaks to it. One is about a barbarian, someone who, by all theory, shows no intelligence in comparison to the civilized world, being able to show great amount of intelligence, outwitting, outmuscling, anything really. He walks into a place, goes, this civilization is actually barbaric, and then walks out after doing whatever business he has to do in there. Or at least that's my general perception. I still do need to read them. And that's what it's going to be. I'm more apt to talk on the other side of it, being H.P. Lovecraft's own perception of how the messages his literature should communicate. And there's like a whole bunch of things. So I can start with some of the simple things. Things that most people, and I do understand that H.P. Lovecraft is still technically kind of niche. You bring him up, and if you're not like a part of the horror scene, is Copper in yet? But if you're not part of like the horror scene, people won't know what Lovecraft is, cosmic horror, anything like that is, really. But yeah. You have some of the pretty standard stuff. His fear of the ocean, fear of the unknown, and stuff like that. And his fear of the unknown comes from like two spots. As most people know, he has a pretty debilitating, well, I say debilitating, but it was a severe fear of anything that was different to him. More specifically, there wasn't like straight white male of pure European blood. That wasn't the bad part of European. That was his whole perspective on stuff. Now, he did end up later talking about his previous ideals and things on the world, and it's highly speculative that most of his ideals, and the reason why it's so old school style in comparison to the much more newer racism that was going around, is because of his father going insane and him being mainly raised by his grandfather. But yeah. Shoot the skeleton. Without a shield to trivialize them, skeletons can be a bit of a bother. I remember back in the old survival combat book, they talk about how you need to strive to not get shot by skeletons. Nowadays, you just stand there with your shield and then hit them whenever they fire their shots. But yeah. But on top of that fear of the unknown was his weird amount of curiosity. Like, it's very clear from the boring, like, character, and the characters don't matter, like, for the Lovecraft setting. Not really. Like, you see it more prominently without it just being dismissed as bad, like, authors bad at writing with Junji Ito, someone who is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. Tell me what main character you remember of Junji Ito who isn't technically also the monster that you remember. And I'll tell you what, none, because I don't even remember what the name of the girl from the Spiral is. And technically she's connected to the monster as well, because she's like the final catalyst or something to the like ceremony or whatever. But yeah. Am I wanting to move? Not sure. Yeah, I want to move. But yeah, part of like Lovecraftian horror or cosmic horror, the characters, they can be characters, but they don't truly matter because of the scale, you know? But take that in opposition to, I hope I've been saying Conan. Yeah, Conan the Barbarian, where his name is literally plastered on the front of it. He's important. He's a figure, an idealized figure too, or an I. No, 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 no! Get away from me! Get away from me! I am not going out like that. At least not on day one. Holy hole! I hate whenever I don't get sheep. This is also another reason why I generally stay around villages. A lava pool right next to a ruined portal. Seems awfully redundant. Here we go, baby. Hoping for something good. Golden apples. Pretty nice. Anything else? No. And let's see how good this portal is. Really nice portal, honestly. Yeah, really nice portal. Maybe I'll get the cords and hit a snapshot. Might come back here later. Set up another. Shoot. Might be time to set up a boat thing. Yeah. Thankfully enough, no drowned over here. I don't remember if drowns can only spawn in the, in like rivers that connect directly out to a ocean as you see it, or if they can only spawn in, no, they can't only spawn in ocean because I've run into them outside of that, but still. Yeah, I'm gonna set up to get a boat, because I'm not getting much more from this place, honestly. Upstream or downstream? Let's go upstream. On the topic of his own ideologies on the importance of humans, the tie of ouch, oh. I didn't realize that it was a drowned with a trident at first. I'm currently at a very bad position to be dealing with any ongoing dangers. Which you might be saying, why didn't you make more food to so you could get your saturation back up? And it's honestly for a really simple reason. I forgot. So yeah. And yeah, but a part of that racial ideology in his work is the idea of, if you think of everything as like how you're born or how you exist as class, and the factor of inherent superiority on it? What if there existed a whole bunch of gods or things that were inherently that class, or were just disturbing but had more power than you, being a lower inherent class, like Shadow over Innsmouth or something like that? Which Shadow over Innsmouth, I'm pretty sure, was legitimately just because he found out he was like fucking Welsh, I think. Oh shoot, I cursed again. Please be patient with me on this. I'm trying not to curse as much, but I'm a person who bad language runs in my family, inherently. My mother never went a New Year's resolution without cursing, and I laughed at her for it. Now I'm facing that similar thing. Never thought I would have to face that because I always thought that I would never care about it if I cursed or not. You just need to be able to not curse for like long enough to get through like a conversation with a person. And then once that's done, horrible idea I have, or horrible thought process I sometimes have, is the idea that secrets of the dark can't live in light. Basically, if you do something where no one knows, it's never going to be connected to you or surface back up. No, that's not true at all. Unless, of course, well, it's not true. Just flat out, it isn't true. There's always like complicating features, and you can never predict everything. The best thing to do whenever it comes to secrets is to always handle them with your understanding of risk versus reward, and to always mitigate risk to as much of a non-zero factor as you can. That's always how I work. I found mostly through life, you end up making mistakes when you chase the reward, and you end up forgetting or not seeing what you're risking. It's one of the reasons why I think envy and greed are so dangerous. At least to the individual. They seem to make you blind, and blind you stumble into a wall. I'm hoping to find a good place. You have these like stone areas, which these stone areas aren't bad places to set up a base. They're flat. They're completely flat. They would honestly be pretty nice to try set up something that's like brutalist or something like that, One of those stupid like concrete manor things. If I get something from like the oh man, I wish there was like liminal spaces. Yeah, liminal spaces. I don't know why I was thinking on it for a little bit. I was thinking of backrooms. I was like, oh man, I wish there was another word for it. But it's literally liminal spaces. Backrooms is pretty old by now. But still gets associated with that SCP knockoff, like, horror monster survival in a never-ending maze. Which is cool, but it completely cuts, like, the idea of liminal spaces. I don't know, hipster fucking thing to shoot. Hipster freaking thing. Freaking? Does freaking work? Frackin'. Frackin' thing to, like, moan and complain about. Hmm. What is this? That tree is a different color than what I see. What a query. Let me investigate thee. Oh, it's just an oak one with... Well, it's just oak. Zazel. Hmm. Hmm. What was the topic I was going to return back to? Did I ever finish the Conan art thing? Oh yeah, I didn't even get to like the ultimate reason why I'm bringing them up both in concession. Wildly dangerous base? Yes. Going against what I said about not building in a underground area or building underground? Yes. But at the same time, holy, this one is tempting. Trying to think about how I do this though. There's the obvious just hang something out in the center of this, but I might want to look at some references. I was thinking for something in line with my whole skin, which it's right now it's in a very rough state because my other one, like, I couldn't get the other one to, how would you say, I couldn't find the original files for it, so I don't have it with the better texture for the clothes. And that whole thing happened because I had like some crisis where I was like, this skin sucks. It was a skin I made myself when I was younger. This one sucks. Everyone's gonna think I'm dookie and stupid for having this skin. So I completely vandalized it or something, and I couldn't find the original files. And the best part I did on it was this lab coat. The lab coat was like pretty well done. It's supposed to be a lab coat, if you couldn't tell. But yeah. There's a lot of elements about it that are just that work out if I can like get it right. I'm visualizing it right now. So I think most obvious is 3 points right there, and an obvious ability to see it's being suspended. I think instead I should do a tubing. Yeah. Okay, I have some ideas. So I'm going to do a lab, but I have two parts of an idea. One is that this entire area, once I have enough invested into it, I can put a dome over it, like a glass observatory dome of the area. And then the second part of the idea is the idea of having a like tunnel or the lab open area just span across this entire thing with like that outline of diorite, I believe, being a good representation of its dimensions, with other things flowering out, like the entrance going out here and further back into there. I'm actually so glad I died in that first one, because this is such a better one, at least for what I want to do, or I came here wanting to do. But first is to get the simple outline of this base going. Here we go. I'm getting a little bit better. This also can set up for a pretty interesting design of one of my favorite ways of travel up and down, which is of course the elevator. And I've joined 2 of my friends' servers before they which are for their 2-week phase. They have every couple of years or 2 years. They have a 2-week Minecraft phase where I invest way too much into it because I want to be able to show them something, and that show them something is show them my villager system that's set up ramshackled by trapping every villager in a hole in their house. Because I'm too lazy to put them in a boat to get them organized, because why would I care about organization when I can just literally just run right there to them rather than doing that? They ain't anywhere. My chests are literally right out in the middle of the open next to them. Though I did get a little peeved. I made a really nice beachside house that was connected to my villager area through a nether portal that wasn't too far off from each other. It's just the nether portal made it a lot easier. And just suddenly out of the blue, they dropped the server completely. And now that's fair because they're going through their 2-week Minecraft thing. They don't really care about the server, and they're spending money on it and stuff, but yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm any better. Would you consider that flaky? I don't know. But, maybe I need to look at the definition of flaky. But it's just how things work out. It's hard to invest into anything, really. That's the whole point of this series, really, is the idea of investment. And the limitations that follow with that idea. Putting in investment. I can already see from right here. But this is not too bad. Because even though I want to be a level down, it's better just to go over there and get there then rather than to instantly try and level up. Level with it from eye looking, It would be better to be a little bit lower. Now you might be asking why I'm using so much wood to build such a large platform. It's just so that I don't fall off. That's why I said that this is a very risky thing. Because all of my previous deaths in hardcore mode, other than the one that I legitimately just had in this video, have been from falling. It's my one weakness. Gravity. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other real deaths that I've had to anything else. And just in general Minecraft too. Because often what will happen is I'll be like, oh, I can do a couple of jumps downwards. That's fine. And then I'll get hit by something, like a stray arrow, and boom, you're dead. That's how life be. I'm not a crook. See? I'm honestly not sure what to do with the skin. It doesn't read enough like a roach. It's supposed to be a roach. You're wondering about the face thing? I was trying to do a creepy eye thing with it too. But that's more for me to think about than anything to be reflecting here. Everything about this entire thing, though, is that the idea of how much open space there is in this pit, pit, makes it so that I can just build it and It's like naturally open space. I like it. I might not even like take out. Hmm. I might not even take out some of the coal on the sides and stuff. There's no reason to mine them up. They're abundant anyways, so they break up the just rock. Rock and stone, lads. That's it. Rock and stone. This is always gonna come a thing. I gotta create a staircase downwards. Surprisingly, not many deaths to staircase related fallings off of stuff. It's usually whenever I'm building. And you might be wondering, well, it's because I do this. My staircases are usually safe. Don't mind at night. I know you're looking at the cave and you're feeling kind of brave. Go to bed, it'll be okay. Don't mind at night. That shit used to be my shoot. That whatever used to be my jam. It still is my jam. I still listen to Minecraft parodies. A whole bunch of people were angry, I think, is the statement about copper tools. I think most people, some people uh, perceive it wrong. I think people are angry that they don't have anything to differentiate them from being a part of the game. You know, they're essentially just glorified stone tools. But as someone who often hoards his iron for multiple reasons, there's multiple reasons to hoard your iron in this game. Iron is just one of the most essential for like most activities and tools that you're gonna be and stuff that you're gonna be doing in this game. So being a little bit of a miser with it is just often a thing you will do. I'm of the opinion that I'd rather throw a whole bunch of extra copper and extra uh, coal that you have into a furnace, so you can quickly like slap them in there, and then you have like your junk pickaxe that you carry with you. You know, like that just might be a difference in like how fast I play the game through in comparison to other people. Other people are taking it from the consideration that they're gonna just get to diamonds as fast as possible and then get to like netherite as fast as possible. Oh, that was another thing that pissed me off with my friend's server is I got like netherite for my I was getting netherite scraps and stuff and they closed down the server. Mining for netherite. Also I had like enchantments too. Now that I'm thinking about it, holy hole, I had so much right to be mad at them. But in general I had stopped. No, I was still playing on the server actually, but I just stopped interacting with them. I think what more says about me than anything about them. A literal server meant to interact with my friends, and I was so far away from them, they abandoned me. I was living with them, and then they blew up all my stuff, took it all, and then they left me out in the middle of nowhere. So I like ran away to find my own little spot, my own little slice of heaven or whatever, you know. Follow the Minecraft dream, you know. Not Minecraft dream. Oh, oh, that was bad. I had like a face spasm. That was so bad. Ah, but yeah. So I go out to do my own thing after they blow up all my stuff and blew up all my dogs too. Because they blew up all their dogs too. They lured like a creeper, or they accidentally guided a creeper into like the house that we were sharing together. There was like three of us sharing a house, and so all of our dogs are in the basement. and a creeper follows them into the basement because they had the doors on like trap doors or something, and blows up all the dogs. Now I wasn't too overturned about this because I hadn't named it yet, but I could have been. Could have been. I find it so strange some people's opinions on mafia movies. I watched mafia movies, saw all the cool things, but I never really looked up to them or saw them as like cool-ish. I don't know. The whole opinion was always my whole opinion on like mafia movies and that mafia type was always, man, this honestly gets me in the mood. This honestly reminds me of my violent tendencies, which I have a lot of violent tendencies. Oh man, it was so bad back in the day. Like, oh, I think I went over time by 4 minutes. Or is it 4 minutes left? Yeah, that is over by 4 minutes. Well, I was. I guess I'll have to save that for another day. Yeah. But this is just something I'm gonna try and do like every week at least. Hence the name, at least.